Hi there, my name is DANI Henderson. I am the founder of the Galactic and Spiritual Informers Connection, which basically is a huge gathering of people from around the world who get to learn about who they be, the true history of their planet and the true history of their solar system, and what technology has been kept from us as a humanity that makes us and should have been making us feel a lot better over these years. I'm also a therapist qualified in different modalities, and what I want to do today is bring you some information to remind you of this incredible technology that you are. And of course, we don't learn this in mainstream. We don't learn this certainly growing up as children. We are never empowered in the ways that we should have been and we should be. And it will change as we go forward and we create the world the way that we, the people, decide that my planet, your planet, and our planet runs the way that we decide it's going to run. At the moment, there is a massive plan for as many people to want to choose for themselves negativity. At this moment in time, this planet is so socially engineered, so controlled mentally, mindfully, emotionally, so controlled chemically by the foods that we ingest. I'm obviously choosing my words a little more carefully than just spewing the normal narratives that you hear. We have to think a little bit, read between a few lines, because there are several. We can't all use invisible ink. I wanted to remind you that you're a genius. You truly are. Now, don't go into the programming, and you've got to remember, at this moment in time, you are invited, every time you have a thought in response to something I say, recognize, is that a program? When I say something, grab the thought that comes up. Is that your thought, or is that a program? Is that a brainwashed programmable insert that you've had from zero to this moment? You're probably going to find a lot of the thoughts that you have in response to what I say are not your natural thinking thoughts, because you've grown so much, especially over the last few years in your search and your seeking of self, and the planet around you and the humans around you. So check to see if your response to stimuli, which is me saying to you, where does that trigger you in your body? What is the thought that comes to mind? Yeah? Okay. I need to remind you that you are a genius. You have a brain installed in this bioorganic vessel that houses your soul, and your soul is animating with its energy this physical vessel. But the physical vessel has a program in it, has a hardwire mainframe system, and that mainframe system, a computer, is your brain. It's your beautiful brain. When you're born, however you're born, cesarean or through the vagina of the female, there are different things that can happen. It is said that when the baby comes through the vagina, there are things that happen on the way through the birth canal that allow the mother's internal programs, mechanical programs, to release milk, for example. And they're saying that children who were born cesarean, they might have other responses. Either way, it really doesn't matter, because what we're focusing on right now is you, your brain, your mainframe hardwired system, your brilliant genius brain that belongs to you and nobody else. When people say to you, well, you're not very bright, you're not very clever, you're not retaining information. Well, when you look at the honesty and the fact that 90% of the information that we've been fed as children, like the history, the biology, space, the galactic historicals, it's all false, it's lies, then those of you that don't seem to be able to retain the information, the lies, I say congratulations, you're amazing. Imagine that something in you rejected all of that dumping, that the systems that put themselves in place, the demonics, the people that put themselves at the top of the systems that educate us, insert the foods, insert the medicines, insert, program us as human beings. If you have been called a dimwit, a village idiot, I've been called these things all my life. They're actually badges of honor, because, wow, I didn't need to carry around all of these ridiculous programs that were inserted in me, which means I am a free thinker. Woo! Like you. Yeah. How about that? We never heard that. We never heard that. Of course we didn't. They want you to be miserable and think you're stupid. Très bête, idiote. Well, bless them, eh? They are so dumb. They are so dumb, 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 dumbass, ass hats, you know. But they've been programmed. But we're going to put them over there because I've really got no time for them at all. I've only got time for you. I only want to focus on you, beloved, and remind you again how bloody brilliant you are, what a genius you are, and that this mainframe computer, the brain, you get to program it. Imagine, let me give you a very quick brain hack here. Now, there's a lot of depression, a lot of suicidation. I've had 5 emails, 2 phone calls. I said it the other day on my broadcast with people who literally feel like there's nowhere else to go. Well, let me tell you what's happening, all right? As you are letting go, as you are healing, as you are letting your beautiful self, realize that we've been in this matrix, this environment that was constructed for us, not by us, the majority, but for us by the minority, to enslave, to keep us down, to make us think we're stupid, to get the degree, to get the house, to get the mortgage, to be enslaved to the financial system, all of that. What we're feeling now in our physical bodies is a heaviness and a density because we're shedding. We're letting go of this weight. We're letting go of this enforcement, this encasement that doesn't belong to us anymore. And it's so alien to feel that way. It's so difficult for us to physically function some days because we're wearing programs that, remember in the days of WordStar and WordPerfect, some of the first programs on the computer word processor, well, it'd be like plugging those back in. They don't fit. They've gone. They're a thing of the past. The first IBM programmable systems, the operating systems that we've upgraded. We've realized that we are the light, that the dark is not. We've realized that we are the brilliance and the creators, that the dark is not. And the dark, the people that have been running your planet, all of it, in the past, they're coming down, the systems are coming down. That's what you're seeing. That's why you're feeling so ill, because they're trying to pressure you. They're trying to compress you into fear and loathing, fear and depression, that you are brilliant and bright and you're a genius and you have so much value and you have so much worth. It's another reason why you've been feeling so shit and so depressed and so anxious. There are so many reasons the compression happens, but guess what? None of those feelings are yours. None of those thoughts or those feelings belong to you. They're not even your thoughts. A lot of us who are empathic and sensitive, what we do is we plug into mass consciousness because we feel for our brothers and our sisters. We care about them. We love them. But guess what? Right now, you got to knock it off, okay? Make a decision to quit plugging in, and it's just a decision. You use your imagination to bring the information. I'm reminding you that in your loving kindness for your brothers and your sisters, you are reaching out and plugging into mass consciousness, but that's not helping anybody. That's keeping us all stuck. That's keeping us all plugged in to the horror and the terror. And every day on the telly, on the TV, on the whatever, wherever you get your news, there's something here and something here and something here, equally horrific, equally looshing off the misery of humanity, equally shocking, equally startling, and all of the unhealed stuff we have inside of us, it gets re-triggered and the wounds get reopened because we haven't healed them yet. But we're getting there, So I'm reminding you, please imagine unplugging. Pull out your plugs from mass consciousness because you are the one that needs to focus on you first. And then when you have given yourself the love, the care, the kindness, when you have held that little child inside of you, when you have reminded them how valuable, how strong, how brilliant, how beautiful they truly are, then you are in a good position to help others. But please don't be a martyr. Don't be a victim. Oh, but they need me. Oh, but I have to. No, you don't. Another program. Okay, nobody wants to see someone sacrificing themselves. Okay, we don't all need to be Jesus, who had no choice, who was murdered because he came as a fully self-realized human, and he was telling us all, what I do, you can do too. You're amazing. You have value. You are so worthy of being here. Your brilliant brain, your brilliant soul. That's what Jesus was talking about. All right. Just forget the martyrdom and the victimhood, because all that does is it keeps you stuck. And at this stage, if you choose that, you are choosing that. All right. Nobody wants to suffer. I know sometimes my words can be triggering, but honestly, it really is done out of love. It really is done out of love. Because sometimes you just got to have some English birds say, knock that shit off. All right? It's boring. Nobody wants to see Dolly daydream down the road saying, but I have to save the world. No, Dolly. No, you don't. You know, or Charlie Chuckles over there. You know, oh, I have to keep entertaining people and hurting myself and making them laugh and being the... No, Charlie Chuckles. No, sit down. Just get yourself a bag of chips. And I mean potato chips with salt and vinegar. Yeah, I'm English. That's what we do here in England. We eat chips, salt, pepper, vinegar. Amazing. You should try it. Love it. Anyway, Charlie Chuckles, sit down, have a bag of chips. Stop trying to save the world, Charlie. Dolly, listen, guys. We've got to bring it back here. We've got to bring it back here. Now, there's a few hacks I'm going to share with you. All right? Just a few hacks to remind you how brilliant you are and your brilliant, brilliant brain. Now, with all the stress and all the strain and all the horror and terror that we keep seeing, many of us, and from childhood too, I certainly from childhood did this. We tend to breathe here. Shallow breathing. We're not breathing into the body. We're not oxygenating the body. We forget about that. We forget about that. Then you got these numbnuts out there saying, breathing. What do you mean breathing? Oh, really? Okay, let me spell it out. If we don't breathe, then we die. Okay. Well, what kind of breathing? Breathing in and out. Breathing into the body. Is that yoga breathing? It's called breathing. Yeah, but is it yoga though? Yeah, but is it though? Because apparently yoga, any kind of pranic breathing or any kind of, acknowledgement to Hindu breathing or anything like that, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, any of the ancient holy books, oh, that's evil, that is. Really? Now, oh my God, let's assign a label over here. Dimwit. If someone tells you about breathing into the body, it's connected to yoga or something, oh God love them. Listen, dum-dum, dimwit, sit down, here's a lollipop, shut up, no one's listening. You're crap at your job, okay? Just be quiet, all right? I cannot stand these silly people out there, these silly Nellies out there, they're everywhere. Ooh, oh, don't breathe, is it connected to yoga? Oh my God love them. I mean, how many jabs have they had? Anyway, sorry, not sorry. So, breathing. I know it's a bit triggering. It's all right. It's all part of my masterful plan. It's to bring you back in love with yourself. It's to remind you who you are. Okay. Let the triggers come up because they're there for a reason. Check. Is that your natural thought? Is that your natural thought? Is it your natural thought to think, oh no, repel Danny on screen there. She's talking about this. I'm getting triggered. Why are you getting triggered, friend? Is it your natural thought coming up? Is it your natural defense? Are you annoyed that you've been so badly harmed by the systems that have raised you, by the governments that have not funded you and supported you? Or are you programmed by a religion? Are you programmed by the Nellies running out there saying, if you breathe a certain way and it's got anything to do with yoga, it's evil? Come on. So, basic breathing, okay? No good breathing here anymore. We're stressing the body out. We are stressing. We are making too much cortisol. We are harming our adrenals because we are not breathing into the body. And when people say breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, there's a really good reason why. I'm going to share it with you, okay? So all of us mostly were on automatic. We're not even thinking about the fact that we're breathing the same pace in and out. It's just happening automatically, right? because of all the programming we've had from birth to now. But when you breathe in through the nose, hold your belly and push out of your mouth, but down into the belly. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth and down into the belly. One more time. In through the nose, out through the mouth and down into the belly. I love that. I forget to do it myself. And when I do, I feel a little bit lightheaded because I'm releasing chemistry in my beautiful brain. And it's happening in your beautiful brain too. When you breathe in through the nose and push out through the mouth down into the belly, you're releasing chemistry in your brain. You're releasing endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin. And that's all you have to do. Not a pill or an injection, insight, just natural breath. When you push down, down, down into the belly, you're reminding your body, this is how we breathe when we're babies. The belly moves. The breath goes down into the body. The blood becomes oxygenated. We stop going from the stress and the trauma and the programming that we've had, and we start taking back our own pranic life. Life force energy. That's ours. Nobody else's. No one else's. Just yours and yours alone. Yours alone. So in through the mouth, down to the belly. And you can make noise if you want or not. It's entirely up to you, as long as you do it. Yeah. And you're going to remind the ancient programming that you came in with, which is your normal, natural, bioorganic blueprint, the human blueprint, the human design. Yeah. Not the infrastructure once you got here onto the planet, not the perpetrators, not the harmfulness, but you as the individual, And that's something really, really important. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about left hemisphere, right hemisphere, and limbic system, because you're so brilliant, right? You've heard there's a left hemisphere of the brain, right hemisphere of the brain, left and right. But in the back, we have what's called the limbic system. And the limbic system is the emotional center. So everything that you process through the brain goes through the limbic system. Yeah. And so when we take in that, we're basically bringing together left hemisphere, right hemisphere, and passing that beautiful organic breath down through the limbic system. And the more that you can imagine the internal workings of your brain, your mind, your beautiful self, the more educated you become, the more stronger you become in your knowingness. A lot of the stuff I'm telling you now, can't find it online anymore. They've made sure of that. They're changing the information. So we better be looking at all the videos or just getting as much education as we can right now for our beautiful selves. Okay, now one more word on shallow breathing. When we are breathing in and out at the same pace, see, we don't realize till we put our attention on it, but you'll notice that kicks in. Fight, flight, fight, flight, fight, flight. It's never switched off. That's why we're so exhausted. It's exhausting being on fight or flight all the time. Same breath in, same breath out, same breath in, same breath out. We're not even aware of it. But as soon as you decide to say to your messaging center, I'm going to breathe in for 2 and out for 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. As soon as I do that, I introduce the idea and I bring my awareness to it. I'm saying to my body, I'm telling it, we don't need to be on fight or flight. We don't need to be on alert. If my body can accept that I'm breathing in for 2 and out for 4, that means there's no danger. I'm not on high alert. I'm not on high alert. This is how we bring the body's chemistry down. This is how we rest the cortisol. This is how we rest the adrenal system, just by even putting attention there. Isn't that amazing? No drugs, no jabs, no nothing needed. Just a little listening and a little for you trying out in the moment, so you can prove to your own body that what I'm telling you is right and real. And now I'm going to teach you one more hack, the stop button. You're going to love this one. So the stop button is really, really useful. And everything that I'm sharing here with you, I not only have done it myself and entrained myself to use these practices because to prove they work for myself, most importantly, because then who the hell am I to put stuff out into the field if it's not true and if it's not real and if it's not going to be a support. So the stop button is something that I kind of developed over time that really, really works for me. Okay, so a lot of us have got severe anxiety or some anxiety or chronic anxiety. It goes in different stages, as we know. What is anxiety? Anxiety is thoughts focused on the future, worrying about where am I going to live? What am I going to do? How's it going to be? What's going to happen? When's the RV going to happen? When's this? When's that? When's the aliens going to land? When's this? When's that? That's anxiety, always worrying about the future. Depression is always thinking and worrying and focusing and getting stuck on the past. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. This happened to me. I can't function. I can't believe it happened. I'm still traumatized. You know, depression, I myself have suffered over the years with both levels of the spectrum, as most humans have, actually. Depression, worrying about what I could have done. Why did I walk down that alley? Why did I this and why did I that? And, you know, and things we've done. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? That's depression. So we're not really focusing on this moment now. We are the most incredible creators. And even though we've been so harshly programmed and we've been so badly influenced by the powers that put themselves in charge, and it's okay to say that because it's a fact, we still have to remember that we are creating moment to moment. So if we're just going to focus on the anxiety of what's going to happen next, or if we're going to focus only on what happened in the past, can't get over it, and it's not okay that these things happen. It isn't okay that you suffered. It isn't okay that you were violated. It isn't okay that you're still grieving. None of that's okay. But if we stay there, if we choose to stay there, and we keep telling ourselves, I can't do anything, I'm paralyzed by it, I'm emotionally paralyzed by it. It's all true. It's all true. But if you stay there, it's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible. So let me give you a little hack here. Your brilliant brain, it works on images, it works on commands, it works on instructions, okay? When you recognize that you are getting lost in your mind and you're depressive or you're anxious or you've seen something and you're worrying or this and that and this and that, you're out of control. It then creates all the chemical reactions and responses in the body. And before you know it, you're right there again. You're on overwhelm, you're on over stressful stated, your adrenal glands are just powering up, your cortisol is in, just overcharge. It's just horrible. So what we need is one thing to pull into focus. And so what I do when I feel all that stimulus, whether I'm reacting to stimuli outside of myself, whether I'm letting myself get activated internally and the stuff I haven't worked on is getting stimulated, I imagine in the middle of my brain or right in front of me, a red stop button, And I imagine that stop button, and then I imagine pressing it or punching it or smacking it or headbutting it or punching it with two hands or kicking it. It doesn't matter. I need to make my focus go nowhere else but that stop button. And I keep poking and punching and touching and whatever it is until the thoughts that were flooding me and owning me have stopped. So, give you an example. I've given it before. I only teach and share what I know absolutely works. And I don't plagiarize other people's work either. You know, we're all inspired in different ways from different people, I'm sure. But what I'm teaching you is not taken from somebody else's work. Otherwise, I would say this is from the work of so and so and so and so. So I was walking down the street and I was thinking about all the terrible things that happened to the children and all the terrible things that happened to me and to you, and the things that should never have happened to us but have. And I was feeling completely, I could literally feel myself becoming unhinged. And then I remembered, oh my God, and it's an awful thing. I let myself get so badly far down that road of destruction. I was doing it. I was creating that. I had to own that, but then I was losing control of it, you know, feeling so depressed and feeling like, oh my God, I just feel so bad. I don't want to be here anymore. Then I remembered the red stop button, and I made myself pull everything in to a focal point, saw a big red button, and in white words, it says stop. And I'm hitting and hitting and poking and tapping and doing all of that. And what it does, it overrides. It overrides the chemistry, because when your neural pathways in your brain and your synapses, you could call them the ley lines, when they're all connecting and they're all sparking off, your brain's on overload. Your brain and its systems or its systems are firing on overload. Is chemical imbalance happening inside of your physical brain and your physical body? When you put one singular focus, one stop button, and you make yourself create that moment of intense focus for a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, it doesn't matter. But you're aligning back in one focal point, 1 point of knowingness, and you diffuse everything that you are connected to. And it helps you to stop remembering that. It literally cuts off that thought. And if you feel the mind wandering again, trying to bring it back, you bring back the stop button, you stop, stop, stop. We have what's known as overcalcified neural pathways, which means that if you're a person who's used to going into depressive thought and staying there because of all the programming and the environment you've been in and the things that have happened to you that were nothing to do with you, that, you know, have been a state of trauma for you from a child. So you're traumatized at 9 years old, you're emotionally paralyzed in part, and so you stayed there. Now you're a 65-year-old, but something in you remains so unhealed that when you get triggered by stimulus or by a program being popped open, the 9-year-old emotionally paralyzed part of you kicks in. And that 9-year-old is running the 65-year-old you. It's another reason why we get out of control with our emotions, our words, our feelings, our actions. And we start to sabotage, overeat, overdrink, overdo this, overdo that, like make decisions that we would never normally have made if we weren't so overwhelmed and triggered by now stuck in that emotionally paralyzed 9-year-old child. Bringing back the point of focus, focus on the stop button, okay? It works. And it works if you allow it to, if you decide it will, if you let go of all the pre-programming that somebody might tell you about that, and if you've got something better, do that. But if you want to instantly get out of that trauma, that anxiety, that spiraling that we all go through, this is a really good way to do it. This is a really good way to do it. So remember, anxiety is in the future, depression is in the past, but you are the creator of the moment. You, right now. So bring it all in, stop button, stop, 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 stop. Okay. Remember the fight or flight, shallow breathing. We don't want to do that. We want to breathe into the body. Hand on your belly. You want that belly to move like a baby's does, right? Baby's bellies go in and out, yeah? Keep bringing that breath down, down, down into the body. Oxygenate. Put the blood flowing back, put the air back into the body fully, let it pump through those beautiful organs, let your body alchemize into higher healing without the meds, without the jabs, without the trauma of the mind. You know, it's like a disinfecting. It's so powerful, it's so beautiful. Remember, you breathe in for 2, breathe out for 4. Breathe in for 2, breathe out for 4. Remember why? Because if you're breathing in and breathing out longer, what are you telling your body? You're telling your body that you don't need to be in fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight, ready to fight, ready to fight, ready to survive. You are taking control. You are bringing the chemistry of your beautiful body back into its natural alignment. And these bodies are healing machines. The whole body is in over a 7-year period, every single organ. It's true. The body is a regeneration system and a generation system and a creation system. And knowing that gives you all the power, all the power. And if someone tells you that's not true, liar, liar, pants on fire. Okay, they clearly don't know what you now do. The only way to prove it is to do it, isn't it? It's the only way. That's what I do. That's what I've done. These techniques, these little drops here on hacking and understanding the breath in the body and how it can help you change and alchemize the pain in your body, alchemize different parts of you, heal different parts of you, acknowledge the inner child in you, bring the stop button for you. It makes you a winner. It makes you the winner that you are. We are all going through a hard time. We are all going through a bumpy time. And if we can just get some tips right now for free that can help us, well, I'm all about that. I'm all about that. My next little drop I'm going to do for you is for those of you with a spiritual mind that maybe have or think you have guides. You know, guides, spiritual guides. I'm going to take you into a couple of areas in my next broadcast here on my channel, DANI Henderson, D-A-N-I, DANI Henderson, of how to help yourself with the energies around you to also get cleaner and clearer. But please, if any of this can be of use to you and you think for a minute, it might help you be less depressed, less anxious, less overwhelmed, more alchemizing what should be alchemizing this beautiful body. Yeah, that we are alchemizing internally, because this is where our individual power is. And anyone that tells you it's outside of you, liar, liar, pants on fire. I'm tired of it. Don't follow anyone. Don't worship anyone. Don't look up to someone so much that you lose yourself. Do not lose yourself. All right. My name is DANI Henderson. I send you my love. I do love you. I love humanity. I love us. I love how amazing we are. And we deserve to remember who we are. All right. I'll see you soon.